Hello everybody, thank you so much for checking out our Riders United YouTube channel. And in today's episode I would like to show you how to replace the brake pads. My specific bike is 2019 Heritage Softail Classic, but the same calipers are mounted on 2015 up to 2021 bikes, so it should be the same procedure. I will have to say it's really straightforward and it takes about 15 minutes. So please stick around and I will show you what I got. Here we go. So here are the things that you will need in order to replace your brake pads. As always, I highly recommend using the service manual for your bike. I use the manual before procedure to kind of familiarize myself a little bit more. So it's always a good option to have that. I have the thread lock that I will apply on the bolts when I put things together. I have this extension. I think it's really helpful since you don't want to touch your fender. And also, yeah, the ratchet here. And this one is T5. So this is for this smaller bolts. As you can see, this is T5. And this one is a metric wrench, 10 millimeters. Here you go. Of course, you need the new set of pads. And I will highly recommend the gloves. This will be rather dirty job. And screwdriver is also helpful to kind of spread those old pads when you are installing everything. So let me show you how to do that. So Harley manual is actually recommending removal of this master cylinder cover, and this is done in order to make sure that the brake fluid can flow up and down without any restriction. So just watch out when you are pushing those pistons in the caliper, just to make sure that the braking fluid doesn't overflow so it doesn't damage your bike. The first thing first, have to make sure you protect your fender really nicely. Make sure that you don't have any exposed surfaces. And yeah, the first step is to get those bolts loose in here. And then in order to remove the caliper, you will remove those two. And for this one, we'll use T5. So let me just get this one. Okay. So I get loose this one. Okay. So just lose them a little bit. And right now we'll remove those two bolts in order to remove the whole caliper. So let me just protect this a little bit better. And for these purposes, I'm using a 10 millimeter wrench. So let's see. Hopefully I will be able to get this one loose. This one is a little bit tighter, but it wasn't that bad. And here we go. Okay. Make sure to remember that there is a sensor for ABS. So just support the caliper. This one is the top. This one is the bottom. It looks like they're the same size this year for this bike. And let's see. Yeah, be careful not to touch the fender. The clearance is like really tight in here. So I guess this will stay. This sensor from ABS. I will disconnect that. So there is this little piece in here. And here we go. Wow, as you guys can see, yeah, there is no pad left. You can remove those screws holding the pads. So this is the top one, and this one doesn't want to come out that easy, but here we go. All right, so now we have this little piece of metal here to actually hold the pads. I get the new pair of pads, and the part number for this brake pad kit is 41300-102. So this is for 2015 and later soft-tail models, and yeah, as you can see, about the 59 bucks. So let's see what is in the box. So obviously you will get new pads, and what I would like to mention that those are actually Nissin pads. So this is a pretty good brand of pads actually. So don't be shy to buy OEM replacement. So since my OEM brakes last a little bit longer than aftermarket, I decided to go with the original replacement. And there is this extra metal plate that is holding the pads, and also you will have this 2 extra screws so you can discard the old ones. So let me get this one out. Here we go. And our metal plate, and as you can see, this one have the indicator with the arrow, so this part have to go like this. So pay attention to this mark on this metal plate. I have the Loctite, so I will just put a little bit on the screws, just a tiny bit to make sure, since those are brakes. So yeah, this is rather important to make sure that everything's fine and nothing get loose in here. So I'm gonna just put a tiny little bit. Here we go. That should do it. All right. And now I have those old brakes. So yeah, I just put the pads inside to kind of make sure that they will not close, and if necessary you can always use this big screwdriver to make sure that these are open all the way. So just apply a little bit of pressure and hold on. Make sure you don't push the pistons itself, because you can damage the piston, so that would be expensive repair. So I will try to remove these pads really quickly. Put the new ones in. Okay, so what you will do right now, you will put this metal plate, and now put those screws in. Okay, so I thought I will show how it's supposed to be assembled with the spring. So yeah, actually in here you will see this arrow facing up, and this bolt kind of have to push a little bit on this part to kind of go through it, and the same thing on the bottom. You can push a little bit and get this bolt in, and yes, after that it's supposed to be kind of like this. So as you can see, the bolt goes through this bracket, and yeah, this is how you will assemble this. And let me just disassemble this just so you can see how these parts look like separately. So yes, as you can see, the bolt will go through here and also through here, and it will catch those holes in the pads. So what you will do, you will make sure that you have pads catching the rotor. You will put this caliper back in and just hold this one just for a moment, so I have free hands. So I will apply a little bit of the Loctite on this screw holding the caliper. Yeah, just a tiny little bit, just like this much should do it. So I will catch this ABS sensor and just align it there. Thread locker here. Should do it. Align the holes really nicely. All right. Make sure everything is nice, so you can look from the side. Make sure that the pads are in correct places. And now we can just tighten it up a little bit more. Okay, that will be good for now. And now I will catch this spring in here and tie it a little bit better. Let me just move all this. Okay, now this one is actually pretty good. Let me make sure I will tie it up really good. Okay, that should do it in here. That should do it in here. And now I will tie the caliper. So those two screws, our metric 10 millimeter. Okay. And our clips go back in. So the wider side in here on the line. This one in here. Make sure you have enough clearance in here. And the other one a little bit higher. So this is kind of it. This is a done deal. After you replace your brake pads, I will highly recommend that you give it a quick try in your garage before you start riding. So try to move your bike and use your brake wherever you replace your pads and make sure everything is working as expected. And Harley recommends that you will ride your bike about 100 miles rather gently on these brakes, just to make sure that they will kind of break in really nicely and the rotor and the pads kind of matching, so they are catching properly later on. So just be careful, like first 100 miles. And yeah, I really hope that this video saved you some money. I mean, it's really simple procedure to perform, and with the service manual, it's always helpful to have all this information. So I will highly recommend that you get your service manual. But in case you don't have it for this specific model of the bike, or any other bike that have the same caliper, you can just reference this video. So thank you guys for your time. I really hope that you will like and subscribe. I also have the Instagram group and also the Facebook group, Riders United Motorcycle Group. So feel free to connect with me on the different levels. I'm always happy to answer any questions you guys might have. And I really hope to see you on the road one day. So take care. Bye-bye.